Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. Today I'm going to be doing 3 recipes out of my new cookbook, Occasions, and these are in the tailgating section because I know everybody's getting ready for the big game, so hopefully you'll try these. We're going to start with the Kahlua brownie. You know, usually I do the appetizer first, but I wanted the whole kitchen to smell like a brownie while I was working today. The liqueur in this recipe makes these brownies almost like fudge. And then the next recipe we're going to do, you know, you can't have a tailgate without chicken. We're going to do a sesame chicken strip with 2 sauces, one for the adults and one for the children. You'll love that one too. And then finally, the easiest recipe in the entire book is Cajun Shrimp. This is wonderful by itself, great over rice or risotto. And then finally, in Vera's Corner today, I'm going to throw in a 4th recipe. So let's get started on those Kahlua brownies. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit selfish today. You know, usually I start in order with the appetizer first, but I thought I would love to smell these brownies the whole time today. So bear with me, and you're going to be so hungry as you watch this. So this is the batter that goes in the brownie. So this is the cream cheese part that we're going to dollop on the top. So I have my cream cheese in the bowl. I'm going to add the butter, and I'm going to go ahead and get that mixing and creaming. And then I'm going to slowly add my granulated sugar. And I always like to have these ingredients like the cream cheese and the butter at room temperature. It just makes it work a little better. So we're going to actually let this cream for about 3 minutes. Okay, that looks just about right. So now I'm going to add a whole egg. And generally when we calls for an egg, you're talking about a large egg. So we'll get this incorporated, and then I'll just scrape down the sides just to make sure it's incorporating well. And we'll let this beat again for just about a minute or so. All right, so now I'm ready to add the flour to that. And again, this is the yummy filling that's dolloped on the top and is marbled. So we'll get this incorporated and then we'll get started on the batter. All right, so we've got the drop batter that's made with the cream cheese completely finished. I've put on a clean bowl. I have sugar in it. I'm going to add the flour and the cocoa. And just be careful, don't get in a rush there. That'll be going everywhere. And I'm just gonna then add my baking powder and my salt. And I'm gonna just maybe kind of mix this together just a little bit before I put my beater on. And you know, the Kahlua brownie just has such a wonderful flavor in the first place. And it made me remember that my mom, when I was little, used to make homemade Kahlua to give to her friends for Christmas. And it was like a timely process, but I have very fond memories of that. All right, so now I'm gonna start adding in my softened butter. And we cubed that so it would incorporate well. And we're just gonna let that get incorporated. And again, just take your time. And you know, when people say to me, what do you enjoy doing most in the kitchen, I'm always going to say baking, because there's something almost a little bit therapeutic about it. Just getting familiar with the batter, the difference between this batter and like a pound cake batter, for example. Okay, so now I'm going to slowly add my Kahlua. That's a lot of Kahlua, but this makes a big pan full of these brownies. So once this is completely incorporated, we're just going to let it beat for a few minutes to get it well mixed together. Alrighty, so now that's well incorporated. We're going to add the eggs in one at a time. All right, so one of the reasons I put my eggs in the Pyrex is because honestly, the eggs just completely fall out one yolk at a time. It just makes it very easy, and it is one of those little cute things that we love to teach the children in our summer camp about techniques that make baking easier. All right, so this is now pretty well incorporated, and I'm going to get this out of the bowl and ready to spread in the pan. All right, so this batter is just perfect. And you know, the mixing bowl that I use on my KitchenAid, I also love because it's like a big measuring cup. It's got a spout, so it's easy to get out of the bowl and pour. And then you want to make sure, honestly, my grandmother would make something and I was thinking I was going to get to lick the bowl or lick the spatula, and there was not a drop left. And I've turned into her. I try to do the same thing. All right, so let's talk about this pan just a minute. So here's this pan again that we use for so many things, and it's just wonderful because the sides, this dough is going to bake up just to the absolute edge of this pan. And we've perfected all the bar recipes in the book so that they all use this pan, and you can either cut them into bigger portions or smaller portions, but you always know how many you're going to get out of a recipe. All right, so the cream cheese filling, I get to lick that. The cream cheese filling, I'm just going to dollop on the top, and then we're going to do a swirl technique. Oh, I absolutely love this. All right, so I will finish this during the break, and when we come back, we're going to get started on those sesame chicken strips that you're going to love as well as the children. So come back with me in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, and if you're just joining me, we are making food today that you can use when you're having guests over to watch the big game coming up in a couple of weeks. So we've got the Kahlua brownies in the oven. We started with the dessert today so I can enjoy the aroma in this kitchen. And we had to dollop the batter with the cream cheese filling, and then I just took a regular knife and swirled, made a marble effect on the top. And again, this pan is so perfect because it rises straight to the top. They're in the oven now, and I just wish you were here with me. It smells so good. So now we're ready to start on the sesame chicken. And this is another amazing recipe. Really not that hard to make, and certainly you probably have most of these ingredients in your pantry or refrigerator. So we're gonna start with a wet mixture that we're gonna dip the chicken in, and then a dry. And as far as the chicken is concerned, I love to go to the fresh market on Tuesdays. That's Chuck and Chicken Day, and they have both of those on sale. So I unwrapped it and then just cut it into about an inch strip for the tenders. All right, so I've got my mayonnaise in a pie plate. I love to use a pie plate when I'm doing this sort of thing. I'm gonna add in ground dry mustard and grated sweet onion, and just mix that together. And that is going to coat that chicken and keep the dry part on there. I've also prepared a sheet pan with pan spray and put a cooking rack on top. All right, so the dry mixture is very finely crushed Ritz crackers and sesame seeds. So I'm just going to mix those together with a fork. All right, now we're going to start the process. Wet, then dry, and then onto the rack. So just a good coating on the chicken, and then dip into the coating. Oh, and you know, the Ritz crackers are so buttery. These are really delicious. And then I've got my oven set for these to go in. So let me get all of these put together, and we'll get started on the sauces. All right, so we got the pan completely full and ready to go into a 425-degree oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. Oh, I love this. My grandchildren absolutely love these. All right, so while those are baking, I'm gonna get started on the sauces. So this is the kid-friendly. This is the mayonnaise and the Fresh Market's honey. I love the color of it. It's so golden. And you know, I know that children always love the honey mustard, but let's try them on some honey mayonnaise. I think they'll like that too. So you basically wanna just get this whipped together and incorporated. All right, so the adult version of this, I think you're gonna really love too, and it's perfect if you're just grilling chicken as well. All right, so this has the mayonnaise in the bowl. This is Dijon mustard. And then we've got the Fresh Market's yellow mustard. And then again, this honey, which is just fabulous. I love this just on top of an English muffin with a little bit of butter. All right, then I've got apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, and a little bit of hot sauce, Texas Pete. All right, so let's whip this up. And again, these will, you know, if you want to make more than one batch at a time, you can do. All right, so in Vera's Corner today, I'm going to give you yet a fourth recipe for a pork ring that's easy, fun to make with the children as well. And then we will get started on the Cajun Shrimp. So join me back in just a minute. Smelling good in here. Vera's Corner is brought to you by TaxSlayer. Have you put a Boston butt on the grill recently and made pulled pork? Have leftovers and you don't know what to do with them? I've got a great recipe using Pillsbury Crescent rolls. Watch this. Use 2 cups of pulled pork, 1/4 cup of red onion and pepperoncini peppers, 1½ cups of Monterey Jack cheese. Mix 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and a pinch of salt. Set aside as you'll use this later. Next, you'll need a parchment-lined cookie sheet and the bowl of the Monterey Jack cheese. Use 2 rolls of Pillsbury Original Crescent dough, overlapping each triangle. Add cheese, pulled pork, red onions, and the peppers. Tuck the ends of each dough triangle into the center of the pork ring. Use your brown sugar mixture to brush the dough on top of the pork ring. Place in the oven at 375 for 20 minutes. Serve hot with barbecue sauce. This dish is the perfect finger food, or it can be a new way to make lunch look and taste delicious. Start free today at TaxSlayer.com. Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed Vera's Corner. That's another great recipe, and if you're interested in more things like this, our Vera's Corner are on YouTube. Household tips, more recipes, all kinds of things. So check that out. All right, the Cajun Shrimp is the easiest recipe in our book. And I know it's a Southern book, but this is one of the recipes we make a lot during the golf tournament here in Augusta, and it's just a quick and easy thing to do. You can leave the tails on the shrimp and just pick them up, or you can take the tails off, devein it, and you can put it on top of rice or grits or risotto. So I've prepared, once again, my favorite sheet pan with a little pan spray. And then we picked these up at the Fresh Market. These are the large size, 26.30 to a pound. And so when you're getting them, be sure that you get this size, because your cook time is going to be dependent on what size shrimp you're using. So we're going to just put these out on the pan, and I'm just going to spread them evenly with my hands. Aren't these beautiful? I tell you, I love to pick these up. It's a great Friday night appetizer too. Now I'm just going to take paper towel, and I'm going to get all the moisture off of the shrimp. All right, so that's good to go. Now what you pour on top of it is amazing. It starts with olive oil. I'm going to add in Worcestershire sauce, kosher salt, ground pepper, minced garlic, oregano, cayenne pepper, and a little Texas Pete. And you can add more of that if you like. All right, so let's just whisk that together. All right, so we're gonna pour this over. Didn't I tell you this was easy? And so delicious. And you know, honestly, shrimp is ready the minute it turns pink. All right, so I'm gonna go a step further with this, and I'm just gonna take this whisk and just toss this about just a little bit. And you can do it with your hands too, because we're gonna toss it again halfway through the baking time. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of butter. And then I've cut a lemon. So it's also, if you'll look at the photography in the cookbook of this dish, it's really appealing when it comes out of the oven because the lemons have gotten kind of charred and it's really good looking. It would be nice as an addition to a low country boil just to throw a pan of this out on the table. All right, so let's add the lemons, and then this is gonna go into a 400-degree oven for 5 minutes, or I would just keep my eye on it, just like you do when you're under the broiler. So when we come back, we're gonna get started on the presentation and a real celebration because we're going to Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody, and I don't know how many of you are planning to go to the big game, but this year it is in Las Vegas. So I've kind of glitzed it up with my football earrings to kind of go along with the theme this year for the big game. And so whether you're having friends over, whether you're just doing your family and they're going to be kids, we've come up with some amazing things today that I think you'll enjoy, and it'll be easy to do while you get your house ready and make sure you've got plenty of TVs for everybody to be able to see the game. So, you know, when you're putting something together like this, maybe you're not as creative with coming up with the theme. This is where our partners at Hester & Cook really come in handy. If you'll go to their website, every imaginable holiday is listed there, from place cards to place mats to table runners to invitations. They have it all. And I actually became friends with them through finding their products in a store in Birmingham, Alabama, and learned more about their company. So I hope that you will go to their website and learn more about them too. But they helped us today with football placemats that we've just actually used to set up the buffet because we're not plating anything. The little stars on the chicken and the brownies just kind of pop what they've already done with their paper products. The little place cards that you use to go at a place setting can become table cards to tell you what the dish actually is. So they've really helped us put this theme together. So let's walk back through what we did today. We started with the Kahlua brownies. This is a classic in our list of recipes. It's in the new cookbook. It's something that we love to make in advance whenever we're doing an event because they freeze beautifully. We've cut them into little 2-bite sizes here, but if you want to do it as a dessert, I've got it on a plate there. You can warm it up, put some vanilla ice cream on top. You could just use Cool Whip, maybe some fruit as a garnish. All right, then the chicken strips. These bake up beautifully. You can just see how crisp they are. The sesame flavor goes all the way through, and it's just something that the kids love. I mean, you can always put out a chicken strip and they're gonna be happy. We made 2 sauces to go with it. The honey mayo is for the kids, and then the honey mustard is the one that I have in the cookbook with this recipe. And so this, again, just bakes up beautifully. They're great warm, but they're wonderful at room temperature. And then finally, the Cajun Shrimp, which I said is the easiest recipe in the entire book. Comes together great. The Fresh Market already has this shrimp ready for you, makes it work out great. You can do this as an appetizer with the tail left on and they can just grab it. Or the way we're showing it today is on top of some grits with lots of butter, really creamy. We put it on top, and you could even do like a wonderful sauce to go on top of that. But with the paper plates, people can kind of come and go as you're going through the game, and you could just kind of pop something into the microwave if you needed to reheat it. So what if you're just completely out of time and you can't make any recipes, but you want to have friends over? This is where the Fresh Market really comes in handy. You can go in and pick up a fruit tray, a sandwich tray. You can get a salad already prepared. You could go into their deli and get some different cheeses. Back to the produce department to get fruit. They have chips, salsa, the crackers, everything you need to make that charcuterie board look amazing. So just remember your partners when it comes time to do things like that. And on our website at VeryVera.com, we've always got ideas. And again, remember YouTube for other suggestions of things to do. And as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. I hope you'll come back and join me next week.